So, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the second session of this month where we are learning about, discussing about how to accomplish a state of completeness and wholeness in whatever and wherever we stand with. So, last week we saw, what is the importance of completion for both kinds of experiences, whether pleasant experience or a painful experience in our life. So today we are going to talk about how to complete a pleasant experience. So when we start about this, we want you to think about uh, one goal which you set for yourself this year, and either you have completed that goal partially or fully, wherever you are, and whatever you have achieved so far with respect to that goal, you are happy about it, you are satisfied with it. So think about any one goal when we are describing this concept. We are giving you the pointers to think so that you can take the same and you can replicate this concept to other goals as well. If there is no particular goal, so to say, then maybe something good happened with you and then you felt happy about it, that you manifested this or you experienced this either in a relationship or about your own internal progress. So any happy experience, how to complete that for yourself, that's what we are going to discuss today. So starting with why we need to complete a pleasant or a happy experience, because whenever we complete something, we come back to the state of equanimity. So, equanimity is a state where neither joyful nor painful emotion has a grip on us. And when we are in a equanimous state, then we can uh, think and act from being centered, being grounded, being connected to our core. For that reason, we also need to complete a pleasant experience, not just the painful experiences. So now if you are thinking about one pleasant experience that you have had so far in this year, ask yourself what in that experience worked for you. Like what exactly has made you feel satisfied or fulfilled? Because sometimes, it may be that you didn't achieve the result, but the way you played, the way you acted, the way you took the entire thing, you're happy about that. So what are you happy about? What are you satisfied about? It could be external, the result, or it could be a feeling, like it could be an internal thing. For example, you became aware that, oh, I didn't know I can be so consistent about something. I learned that about myself. So here you will know a strength that you have, or maybe you developed on the way. And then the next question would be, what worked for you? What all the things worked for you during the process? So sometimes, in the game of self development, we tend to look at what is not working and where we are lacking. but we overlook what good things we have within us or somebody else has, or we overlook good experiences because we start taking them for granted. The tendency is to look at what is not working so that you can develop that. So, this question, the answer to this question will help you to connect with anything that you found valuable either in you or others, or overall experience. Priya, do you want to add anything over here? Okay.
I'm not interrupting the flow. There's a flow to it.
Okay. So once you answer this, I'm sure the answer is not going to be just one word. It could be a list of things. Yeah. The next question that you can ask yourself is, what has not worked for you? What didn't work for you? Again, this goes both ways. The result came, but in the process, at points, I did feel a certain way. I haven't sat and acknowledged that, or I haven't sat and discussed that with people involved in the process. What resources I have found within myself or around me, which I was not present earlier. And then, what gaps do I see for myself? So, either you call it a weakness or scope for improvement, scope for learning something more. So, what in you think that you can work upon? For example, the question number 3, where you asked yourself what didn't work. Now, you find 5 things in you which didn't work. But you may not want to work on all those 5 things together, right? You may want to work on one thing which could be most burning, or you think that if this goes away, remaining 4 things will also get impacted positively. So where do you see the scope for learning or improving? And then, with all the answers that you gave for these questions, just see what patterns do you find for yourself. For example, somebody may say that I work well in teams. When there are people involved, it helps me to be consistent. But if there is a goal where nobody else is going to be involved, then that resource is not going to be there. So, what are you going to do about it? Somebody else might say that I am good when, only I am involved. I have to plan my own actions and I'm determined and I'm disciplined, so I can easily do that. But coordinating with people is a difficulty for me. So then that person gets aware that relationships or human interaction or interpersonal relationship is a challenge. And of course, from there, you will follow next level of questioning to yourself. That how do I feel in this kind of experience? Like if a person says it is difficult for me to uh, perform in team, then that tells us that this person has difficulty in interaction with people. So how do I feel with people, or how do I feel about interacting with people? So there you will again go and hit the feeling, the emotion, which might be important for you to look at, to address, or to heal. And whatever answers you get, what you are going to do with those answers. Of course, that will give you, clear picture about yourself. Few good things, few not so good things. So the idea is to, you will continue with your self work. But in that moment, when you find the answers, sit with yourself and acknowledge everything. So maybe you can take a moment with each feeling, each trait that you find, and just acknowledge, okay, I felt this way, or I do have this kind of pattern. And breathe. If you if you see more things to that, that's okay. For example, you find that it is difficult for you to coordinate with people because you feel unheard, or you feel not trusted. Then with that, what is the emotion? How does your body respond? So you may note all of that, but the point is to acknowledge it. And then whatever promise you want to make yourself, that these are my strengths, so I want to replicate them in some other experience or goal or project. And I see these patterns and I want to work on which pattern, at what point of time, how much time I want to take, whatever promise you want to make yourself. So this will take approximately, 15-20 minutes to an hour maybe. But once you sit with this, once you allow yourself to feel all those emotions, you might see um, certain insights. The other day, I remember when Priya and I were discussing this, we were like, sometimes, uh, we appreciate something in somebody and we haven't told them so. We haven't thought that, we could go and express it. And even that might be incomplete for somebody, right? That, oh, I never told you that you're good at this. So it could be anything. It is important for you to feel complete about the entire experience. And of course, these are the questions that we thought from our perspective. But when you do this and you come up with some more question, or some more point of views, do share that with us.
I would like to add something here
Yeah.
that, the idea of completion of a process which has been good, like Gayatri said, that we are usually in that accelerated, good, achieved, accomplished feeling when the process is done. Now, why is it important also to micro complete parts of the process? Is because certain things are usually taken for granted. There's a slight sense of entitlement. But yeah, this had to happen like this, or this person had to do this for me, or something was there for them also. Now, in the broader picture, we say, oh, have gratitude, be thankful that this happened. Yes, but it's only because of those small people or those smaller processes uh, which this has happened, right? So I somehow feel that when we complete a process which we have accomplished, it's a very humbling experience.
Mm.
It's a very compassionate thing to do for yourself and for others. and for the process in itself. So even if there is a slight sense of entitlement at any point in time, I think that that will become complete. And sometimes when you sit with yourself and look at a process, for example, if there is a task that you have taken outwardly into the world, okay, you need to travel somewhere or you need to do something which involves as the part of the process. Now something has been managed, right? Because of which you have been able to do what you could do. There is someone else doing something else in the background. You'll get present to that also. For example, if suppose you have a maid who cooks food for you, and for some part in the process she had to come early to cook food. Now she has made an adjustment of her time and come and done it. Now we say, okay, we pay for it, and that's her job. Fine. But that is an adjustment that she has done, right? Now these small things also matter a lot. And next time, when we are in the process itself, that sense of gratitude starts happening at those moments only. Like you don't have to like sit and complete it. You complete it at that time itself. That I'm really grateful. This has also contributed. Unknowingly, this has also contributed. Maybe a delay has also contributed. So all the good and the bad. It's a very humbling thing, according to me. Especially a process which has gone well. Yeah, Gayatri?
I agree. In fact, that brings me one more thought, that we are usually not present to the gradual growth, but a phase just ends in our life. Like I remember once I was talking to my sister, and I got present to that when we were studying, we used to travel by bus. And I told her so many years that we haven't even, gotten into a bus, boarded a bus now, because we have better means to travel. And probably, like for everybody, that shift happens gradually. When we take a flight for the first time, we don't think that, oh, now this has started and this is, ultimately going to happen every time. But over a period of few years, that becomes a normal for us. So that gradual shift is usually something I at least found for myself at one point, that it is difficult to find that, we grew from one phase. Or it could be fitness. It gradually happened after 5 years. Yes, in milestones it started showing at one point, and we are present to that. But when we look back 15-20 years back, level of fitness, and now if we have improved, we haven't taken a moment to feel grateful for that. Oh, it is completely a new reality now. So I think yes, if we start taking a moment for such things, the gratitude, which is a theoretically known to be very good uh, exercise to practice, can become a way of living. I think that's it.
Yes,
Yes.
even progress on a absolutely, absolutely. In fact, not only healing journey, even jobs that we do or skills that we have. What took maybe longer 5 years back, 2 years back, or maybe at the start of this year is much easier today, is much more smooth. But because it has a person has been doing it every day, they don't realize that this is also a process of growth. Had that effort not been put every day by us, this skill must would have not developed. So that, that kind of inclusion of the subtle things is a very humbling experience. In
And
fact,
of course, sorry.
yeah, go on that.
And of course, like, it won't just bring gratitude always. It might bring different feelings,
Yeah.
different things. And those are subtle feelings. They are uh, more unconscious for us, and thus they have more grip on us.
Yes, like there could be certain things which you have taken for granted, which is not working, which has been a kind of a challenge or an obstacle, that has been a detour. Like without that, things would have been faster. That also can happen. So there are enablers and there are challenges or there are obstacles. So this micro thing will get us present to both. I have found completion for good experiences very humbling, very humbling. What seemed like a challenge so many years back or some months back or a few days back seems so simple today. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to.
I think that's what we have to share, and then we can start the discussion.
Can I ask something first?
I'll stop the recording.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.